few similarities between a shaky camera filming a fixed light and Caron's footage of a UFO.
Clearly it's in one dimension. We know that it's horizontal, but now imagine that spread over 2D in the hand. I think we'd be seeing more or less what we've got in the footage. The ribbon effect, to me, I think it says the camera was in night mode and it was taking longer exposures per frame, and we just replicated it.
The test footage is still not an exact match. Caron believes he filmed a single point of light that changes color. But is it possible for a star or a jetliner far in the distance to produce that effect?
The footage is all the different colors blending. Well, could you combine red, green, and white and get close to that?
John Tyndall adds red and green lights, which can be found on the wings and tails of airplanes, and tries the experiment again.
There is a mixing of the colors that you would find on an aircraft, the red, the green, the white, and all the hues in between. You get those colors adding together. I think it looked very similar, and we are using the same colors that are on an aircraft with a very similar technique, and to me that says airplane.
The camera records traces of multicolored lights. Again, it is similar, but not an exact match to the UFO video, where the lights seem to blend.
I can't say absolutely, definitively what that point of light was, but I feel very strongly that it was a terrestrial aircraft at great distance with a consumer camera introducing errors that made it look more interesting than it was. But I'd love to get other eyes on this. People are seeing all kinds of things here. That's scientific fact. So something's happening. Hopefully we'll get more evidence.
Hi everybody, we're investigating the Stephenville flying saucer flap.
We are looking for local people who may have any sightings, evidence, to come forward and talk to us about it.
Another witness brings the team footage, and it's nothing like Caron's.
It started in November of 2007.
Margie Galvez lives on 15 acres of land in Brownwood, Texas, home to a yard full of livestock. But in November, she noticed her animals slowly disappearing.
I lost livestock and, my ducks and chickens, and you would get up the next morning and find their beaks in the water floating and nothing else.
It might have been a predator or a feral dog. So to catch the culprit in the act, she set up a small night vision camera. But on November 21st, she recorded something she didn't expect.
I went ahead and kicked on the recording at 1:41 a.m. And I caught a beam of light. It beamed down, perfectly bright white light just beamed down.
Now, have you ever seen this with your naked eye?
No.
I see it.
The camera records a light for 4 minutes.
It's unexplainable.
The mysterious beam of light is cone-shaped, probably the length of a car. And surprisingly, it does not seem to touch the ground.
Searchlights don't do that unless there's something on the ground that's raised that's stopping the light.
People do commonly report beams that actually are truncated coming down from UFOs.
I've heard this scores of times.
Ever since witnesses have claimed to see UFOs, there have been frequent sightings of beams of light.
There's something very, very strange.
And just before the mass UFO reports in Stephenville begin, Margie Galvez witnesses this. Something shocking is happening that keeps the town on high alert.
There was like a beam coming down from there.
And the mysterious light seen by Margie Galvez was seen by others as well.
The girls were screaming.
Hundreds of UFO sightings swept across the small area of Erath County, Texas.
Approximately 200 different sightings over a 3-month period.
It just took off. A very bright center in it.
And neighborhoods are riddled with paranormal activity.
I sighted a beam light.
One witness claims to have video of a beam of light that hit her backyard, but never touched the ground.
There it is up there.
I'm open to the possibility that some of these lights in the sky are here for whatever reason we can't understand. Maybe they're watching us.
We need to see what we can corroborate with other sightings, right, Pat? And basically see who saw something at that point in the sky.
Let's do that.
Bill finds a 45-year-old woman who also believes to have witnessed a UFO emitting the same suspicious beam of light. For the sake of her job, she wishes to remain anonymous.
January 19th, and like I said, it was right after 10 o'clock. Once we got to the stop sign, we had seen an object that was just right above the trees.
While driving, she and 3 teenage girls in her car spot bright lights in the sky.
The lights were like going like in circular motion. I mean, there were huge lights. We're following the object. We can see the object going very slow. As we started coming around right here, that's when it started kind of moving a little faster, and then it just zapped out. It was just something like this, kind of like oval shapes. There were the huge lights. They were like going in circular motion.
She witnesses the object on the night of January 19th, in the hours just after David Carone made his video. Is there a connection? This reported UFO sighting occurs only 3 miles away from Carone's residence. But to this witness's eyes, it supposedly emits a beam of light similar to the one described by Margie Galvez, 52 miles away.
There was like a beam light of coming down from there.
Did the beam hit the ground?
No.
No.
It was.
You don't see any light on the ground?
No.
2 witnesses, one showing us a video, one seeing the object, but they both see the same thing, the cone of light stopping and never hitting the ground. Something was there.
According to the military, something was there, but it was not extraterrestrial. On January 14th, 4 days after the media reports the alleged UFO sighting, Major Carl Lewis, a spokesman for the Joint Reserve Base in Fort Worth, said there were no F-16s in the area the night of January 8th. 10 days later, on January 24th, the U.S. military changes its story. It claims there was an error in reporting the training activity of military aircraft. There were actually 10 F-16s from the 457th Fighter Squadron in the area from 6 to 8 p.m. that night.
I don't know why there would be 10 F-16s in the same area at the same time. It's very strange.
And even if 10 F-16s were in the air on January 8th, how does that account for the sightings on the weeks before and after?
They all keep going back to the 8th of January. I know actually a couple of other people that have seen it more than one night.
So do you think the military is hiding something with this?
Yes. Oh, yeah. The military is hiding something.
What would it take to get 10 F-16s in the air from a reserve base?
Only the major in charge of the wing could authorize the aircraft, the fuel, the ground crews, plus all of the number of people involved. That in itself would be unusual. So everything about this spells that it was an exceptional situation to put those jets in the air.
Is it possible that these jets were scrambled because something unusual was detected in the airspace?